The biggest story out of Super Bowl 58 is that defense wins championships, unless you're playing Patrick Mahomes. The Dodgers are going to the World Series.
The champagne is flowing. The Dodgers are your 2024 World Series champions.
She's in the post, and she's calling for every single position posting up. It's a party in the paint.
As you can imagine, the locker room is very somber, and that's because Game 3 really came down to the fundamentals, right? Making shots and defense. Early on in this game, it felt like the Knicks couldn't buy a bucket from deep. Meanwhile, Boston, as you mentioned, shot so well from beyond the arc, testing the Knicks' perimeter defense.
Shohei Ohtani is officially available and will play in Game 3 of the World Series here at Yankee Stadium and will continue to bat leadoff.
With that, the Yankees are coming in hot. Winners of their last 5, including a Game 1 11-0 shutout win against the Chicago Cubs. The Pinstripes are looking for more magic at the plate in their last series before the All-Star break.
Kike Hernandez and Shohei Ohtani silent Citi Field with home run blasts that are probably in outer space right now.
We were waiting for a moment that said new manager, new beginning. And after a slow start to the bats, fireworks finally broke out in the 6th. And the most encouraging part is it felt like a full lineup affair with the top to the bottom of that lineup contributing to that 4-run inning. And after the game in the clubhouse, the players told me that the firing of Rob Thompson galvanized this team.
Super Bowl 57 was a nail-biting, spill-your-beer, edge-of-your-seat thriller late when it was tied in the 4th quarter. But this was really the tale of two halves for both teams. Part of the reason that they're doing that, Ping, is because they had to make up for the defense and the rebounding that they lost without Paul George on this team anymore.
You can still feel the residual excitement in Philadelphia after the Flyers' overtime win here last night to advance to round 2. The hope is that good juju follows Joel Embiid, that is, after a dominant performance in Game 5, proving that this team is indeed better with the big man. The Flyers just finished their morning skate. The Penguins are actually practicing behind me right now, but what an exciting time for the Flyers. There were so many smiles on the ice earlier this morning, but also a sense of seriousness.
Finally tonight, the Mets playing at a minor league park this weekend, and they're getting a refresher of what life was like in the minors. I'm not into excuses, but it was the second of a back-to-back against the same team. OKC has only lost back-to-back games once this season, while Brooklyn is much lower on the totem pole. Hello and welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Krystle Rich alongside Taylor Hill and Autumn Johnson. We have Michigan at Ohio State. The Wolverines leading at the half, 38-23. I was a little surprised at how this one started off, really limiting Ohio State. Michigan's defense came out so strong, and Ohio State in the half court, Taylor, was kind of struggling.
The Amazins put on an amazing show in their home opener. The top of the lineup showed the importance of getting off to an aggressive start with Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso. But he walked away feeling something special after more fireworks came when Juan Soto got his first hit at Citi Field as a Met.
Steve, this was a game where touchdowns were traded like playing cards. 38 points should be enough to win a game. The Chargers battled back after a slow offensive start, but the defense was the biggest culprit. He was actually impressed with their interior defensive linemen in his 3-4 defense because they did not allow the ball to be ran up the middle. But he did say that they got beat on their edges and defending those C and D gaps. In order to remedy that this week, there will be some mixing and matching at the linebacker position. He believes those missed tackles last week were an isolated incident and not a prevalent problem. Although a lot of those missed opportunities took place along the perimeter. I asked him why he thought that was, and he said he believes a lot of his guys last week were making business decisions, especially when it comes to small guys having to tackle the larger guys. By show of hands, how many of you overate yesterday? Guilty. Overstuffing yourself is pretty much a tradition, but the question is, how much did the Clippers enjoy Turkey Day? The team had the holiday off, but after finally stringing together 3 wins, will they play stuffed or pick up where they left off tonight against the Pelicans? Transition back to Maryland's 8th straight win, but
To be honest, Autumn, they didn't look really good coming out of the gates, but things changed in the second half.
Guys, Northwestern's defensive line coach was very vocal on the sideline, yelling at the D-line to stay in this game. And listen, from my perspective, it is so clear to see that Joe Spivak is the clear and undisputed vocal leader when it comes to this D-line. He was yelling at the team and telling them to stay consistent, not to get complacent, and so much so that Coach Fitz just had to walk by and smile.
Apparently what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. As you guys mentioned, the Chargers general manager Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley, their head coach, have both been fired after that meltdown against the Raiders. This was a very loud and intense playoff atmosphere, and for the first time in 32 years, the Detroit Lions have a playoff win. And you kind of get the sense just by being here that they weren't going to let anyone stop them, not even their ex and Matt Stafford, who played so tough tonight. In the first half, he really showed off his arm strength. In the second half, his resilience, but it was their red zone blunders that really did this team in tonight. No one thought that the Lakers had a legit chance last season to be a serious playoff contender, and yet they poked the bear all the way to the Western Conference Finals.
This is the only bear that Dylan Brooks will be poking, because guess what? Wasn't LeBron James. Forget the box score. You watch this game, you look at Penn State, and you're thinking, it seems like they live and die by the three, but the storyline remains the same. McKenna Marisa needs some help. How poetic is it that 31 years ago, the Jets drafted Aaron Glenn, who would go on to wear number 31 for 8 years with the franchise. I asked him what he learned about culture building in that time here as a player.
And on this V-Day, Hurts and the Eagles signed their love letter to the city, taking their usual high flight to the ground for the championship parade. This is going to be a great series. The boys in blue will get a taste of Red October. The Phillies will have their hands full in Game 1 of the division series against the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani will pitch for the first time ever in the playoffs. Their ability to manufacture runs is huge. A lot of times in baseball, we love the big moments, right? For the Phillies, it's the Schwarber bombs. For the Dodgers, it is Ohtani getting those big homers. But they are so good at getting on base and getting runners in scoring position. Coach, despite the record, people believe that this is a playoff caliber team. How do you come in and adjust the culture to get it to be where you want it to be?
Like you mentioned, the battle was in the trenches. Your D-line was really good. How do you take this momentum and move it forward?
Well, at a time Adebawore was as active, and I'm so proud of him.
Just 48 days after the Lakers fired first-time head coach Darvin Ham, who was with the organization for only 2 seasons, the Purple and Gold have hired their next head coach. JJ Redick, a former shooting guard who played 15 years in the NBA, turned ESPN analyst, reportedly agreeing to a 4-year contract to head the Lakers. This game should look a lot different than that 44-point loss to the Sixers in South Philadelphia back in late November, as you mentioned, without Joel Embiid, who is out dealing with that knee injury. They are missing their main rim protector, and he is essentially a walking double-double. Now the Lakers will have to adjust and turn their attention to limiting Tyrese Maxey. It's the most Cinderella story this season, from the NBA play-in tournament to the Western Conference Finals. But instead of losing a glass slipper, one Laker dominated the glass. Justin Herbert went 162 passes without an interception before throwing 2 in his first 13 passes today. He didn't connect on a touchdown against the Titans, but when his back was against the wall, him and his army delivered in a big way.
Spanning seasons, this is your 6th consecutive game with a touchdown grab. This season's 2nd straight game with over 100 yards receiving. Why are we seeing such consistency out of you? Bo, congratulations on the win. You were definitely a deep threat for your quarterback tonight. How did that help open up the offense?
Krystle, people will talk about LeBron, they'll talk about AD and the 20 rebounds, but it was the others that stepped up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin Reeves' 23 and D'Angelo Russell's 19 were huge in this game, but they have a right reason to talk about LeBron. The reason they came out so hot in this game early on is because the offense ran through him. The Warriors tried to get back in this game off the glass, grabbing 12 offensive boards early.
31 points in their first matchup, only 10 in the second.
Yeah, and a big part of that, only 10 points, is that he hardly got to the line. They're going to start going small on the Sixers, not because they're not afraid afraid of Joel Embiid, not because they don't know how dominant he is, because they know how bad our transition defense is. The question is, how does the defense view Markelle Fultz? Because if they don't really get on him one-on-one, if they take a step back, that means there's going to be more defenders in the post, which is not going to be a good look for Embiid.
It seems like they are finally getting back on track with back-to-back wins, and the question is, can they push the momentum forward?
How strange is this for the players? How are they supposed to feel with their coach seemingly 1 foot in and 1 foot out ahead of the most important time of year?
Shohei Ohtani's decade-long $700 million contract that he inked with the Dodgers is the largest and richest sports contract on the planet.
What a show from Shohei Ohtani with his first walk-off hit as a Dodger. Dave Roberts had to reach into his bag of tricks with Will Smith pinch hitting, but he needed to look no further than his two-way start for the big moment.
The locker room was so much fun, but this is the look that you get when the Dodgers win the World Series, and they did it in dramatic fashion after being down 5-0 in the 5th inning. They came back, but resilience is what this team is made of all season long, from the injuries that they face to their pitching staff, to Freddie Freeman, to Mookie Betts. They know how to come back when it matters, and they did that tonight. You saw in that 5th inning when Mookie got that ribby, and then Freddie Freeman hit that 2-run single. Teoscar Hernandez, a 2-run double. People didn't know who Dave Roberts would go to next in the bullpen, literally in the national broadcast. They were crossing the guys' names off, but Blake Trinan did a great job in the bottom of the 8th. And Walker Buehler, the guy who woke up and probably didn't think he was going to pitch tonight, made his first relief outing since 2018. Closed this thing out for the boys in blue. This is what you call an instant classic. Everyone in Yankee Stadium was biting their nails on the edge of their seats to see how this one would play out. And after 5 games, your Dodgers are World Series champs. Here are some sights and sounds from the locker room. This team has been through so much adversity, from the injuries to the pitching staff, to Freddie Freeman and his injury, Mookie and his injury. What does it mean that a team can overcome so much and become world champs? What does that mean to you, Andrew? That this team can overcome so much to become world champions?
Yeah, it's been this way all year.
Andrew, I can't see it right now, but it burns so good. Congratulations.
Exactly.
Guys, before I even answer that question, I have a question for you, and it's, who picked out whose clothes today?
Ooh, everybody got jokes tonight, Sherrod.
Wow.
Just wondering.
How important is this one for our team? Our team, chill.
Who's trying to hog the spotlight?
She was trying to have fun in the background. He pushed her back. Come on.
No.
Auntie would not be cooking for me. She's not cleaning for me. No auntie privileges.
And fun fact, Jim Harbaugh will now be in the same conference as his brother John Harbaugh, who of course is the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Jim called his brother as tough as $2 steak. Sharon, Micah, I can already feel that one sticky and chewy in my teeth. Those matchups in the future, of course, should be very fun to watch.
Ping, the celebration in the locker room was bananas. I had my trash bag over my head like this, but it may take me a couple of weeks to get the champagne out my hair, so if I smell like that in the office, just know that none of it landed on my lips. Reporting live at the bank, I'm Krystle Rich, KTLA 5 Sports.
We're now reporting live from the party at Dodger Stadium. Krystle Rich, we'll send it back to you.
That is probably the most fun live shot I've ever seen a reporter do, just dancing nonstop, and oh my gosh.
Breathless.
It's amazing.